Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today we're diving into a fascinating blog post exploring the origins of those ubiquitous undergraduate divisibility problems. You know, the ones that pop up in Intro to Proofs classes? The ones that seem almost magically designed to always be divisible by some number. Intriguing, right?
Absolutely. I've always wondered where those problems come from. They seem so contrived. It's like someone pulled them out of a hat. So what's the secret sauce?
The key is combinatorics. The blog post argues that these problems aren't arbitrary at all. They're rooted in counting things, specifically counting orbits under group actions. Think about it. Integers are cardinalities of sets, and if we're counting something, the result has to be an integer.
I see. So we're essentially using counting to guarantee integer results, which inherently leads to divisibility. Clever!
Exactly. The post highlights Polya-Redfield counting as a powerful tool for generating these problems. It's a technique that uses group actions on sets to count things in a way that naturally incorporates division. The formula for the number of orbits involves a sum over group elements, and this sum is always divisible by the order of the group.
So the divisor in the problem is actually the order of the group acting on the set we're counting? That's elegant. But how does this translate into those specific polynomial problems we see in textbooks?
The blog post uses the example of counting bracelets with n colors and 6 beads. The group action is the cyclic group Z/6, which has order 6. The number of distinct bracelets, orbits, is given by a polynomial in n. And this polynomial is always divisible by 6 because of the orbit counting formula. It's a direct consequence of the group structure.
That's a really neat application. So the blog also mentions a more complex example with a tic-tac-toe board and the dihedral group, right? That's a much larger group, with more complex cycle structures.
Yes. The dihedral group D has order 8. The polynomial, representing the number of distinct tic-tac-toe boards, up to rotations and reflections, is derived using the same principle, and it's always divisible by 8. The author even verifies this computationally, checking for divisibility for thousands of values of n. Pretty convincing?
Impressive. It's fascinating how a seemingly abstract concept like group actions can lead to these very concrete and often tricky undergraduate problems. I'm curious, though. Does the blog suggest that all divisibility problems of this type can be generated using Polya-Redfield counting?
That's where it gets interesting. The author proposes a conjecture, but doesn't prove it. It suggests that any polynomial, always divisible by k, might be related to a group action of order k, possibly after a change of variables. It's an open question, and a great challenge for anyone interested in exploring this further.
A very intriguing conjecture indeed. It connects a seemingly simple problem in number theory to a rich area of abstract algebra. This blog post really highlights the unexpected connections between different branches of mathematics. It's a great example of how seemingly disparate concepts can be elegantly unified.
Absolutely. And that's what makes mathematics so beautiful, isn't it? The unexpected connections, the elegant solutions, the open problems that challenge us to think creatively. Thanks for joining us on Tech Bytes and News. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of undergraduate divisibility problems. Until next time, stay curious.
Bye-bye.